this is the right time to have this kind of session. This is the right time to join with the RAMIS related course or the RAMIS related session. So why I am saying that this is the time taxpayer need to submit the income tax returns. Under the income tax returns, taxpayer need to submit especially the individual income tax return, corporate income tax return, and the partnership income tax return. Those are the main three income tax return that taxpayers need to submit for the year of assessment 24-25. Those returns has to be submit on or before 30th November. I think all of you well aware about that legislation. So before start the session, let me introduce myself. I'm Hiran Meneripitia from Inland Revenue. I have engaged with the RAMIS since last 10 years period. So hopefully we can continue the session. We can discuss the RAMIS application taxpayers perspective application of RAMIS. Under that we will discuss the general application of RAMIS as a taxpayer, how you can use the RAMIS for your tax related matters. You may be the taxpayer or you may be the tax consultant, right? So even by the tax consultant, even by the taxpayers, both parties can engage with the RAMIS in order to connect with the inland revenue. So on that purpose, this is the right time, I think. So let me share my screen, right? And so myself and Mr. Indika cordially conduct this session. Today I start with the general introduction to the RAMIS, and thereafter you will have a session with Mr. Indika regarding the income tax computation. And after that session, we will discuss the individual income tax return e-filing, corporate income tax return e-filing, and kind of thing in the coming session. And within this course, we discuss the other returns filing as well. That means VAT return, partnership tax return, statement of withholding statement, and the APID statement. Those are the returns and the area we are going to cover during this session. And other thing is, during the session, you can raise questions. You can raise the questions during the session. It doesn't matter. You can interrupt the session and ask question. When asked, you can use the both language in English and Sinhala both. You can use both these languages to ask questions, and even you can use this chat box as well, right? And other thing is, I have planned to deliver. Yeah, provide. So we'll share some. Today I'm going to share some presentation. That presentation refers to the introductions on RAMIS. And after this session, there will be some videos. I will going to tell you how to do the e-filing using some pre-prepared videos. We'll see whether we can share those videos, right? So even if not, the Crown Campus, they record this session. So I think you can request the record as well. So for today, I will share my presentation material, right? another thing is I have already planned to deliver certain amount of information during this session, right? So if you ask questions, right? So I can deliver something more than I have already prepared. That means I have to say something more, right? If you ask questions. So I hope we can continue this session as a two-way communication session, right? So it will be more effective to yourself, right? So please ask questions at any time you need, right? So let me share my screen. So this is about RAMIS in individual taxpayers' perspective. This presentation actually individual taxpayers' perspective, but once the course going on, we discuss the corporate income tax, partnership income tax, and other taxes as well, right? So first, let me allow to introduce this RAMIS. What is this RAMIS? RAMIS is for the RAMIS is for the abbreviation for the Revenue Administration Management Information System, which is developed with the aid of some foreign parties from 2014. The RAMIS system in production at IRB since 2015, right? So now it provides a lot of facilities towards the taxpayers as well as towards the tax administration. So the next question, who are the stakeholders of this RAMIS system? Who can use the RAMIS? That is one. Very simply, who can use the RAMIS? RAMIS can be used by the IRB management, IRB official, higher management, and the Ministry of Finance. They also use RAMIS for the various purposes. And you know, IRB officers also interact with the RAMIS. They also use RAMIS for their day-to-day duties, right? So now it was planned to go to the paperless office environment with the development of RAMIS, but still, you know, IRB use papers, but future, because of the RAMIS, IRB can plan to have a paperless office environment, right? That is for the inland revenue side. But our target to discuss how the other parties, that means more importantly, taxpayer and the tax agent interact or involve with the RAMIS. They also can involve and interact with the RAMIS. So if you do have some experience, can someone say, how do you interact with the RAMIS and for what purpose you interact with the RAMIS? Can someone say, if you do have a previous experience? For what you interact with the RAMIS?
To submit the returns and tax
return filing.
Hello?
Yes, some may interact with the RAMIS for the purpose of return filing. Some may interact with the RAMIS for the purpose of PIN registration. Some may interact with the RAMIS for the purpose of PIN request. So likewise, different people do have different kind of experience with the RAMIS. I know all these experience are not very interesting. Some may have some bad experience as well, right? So this course is aimed to mitigate all these issues, right? If you do have some incompetency with doing the tax related matters through this RAMIS system, this course is aimed to mitigate such inconveniences, right? So at the end of this course, So at the end of this course, the target or the objective, at the end of this course, objective will be improve your competencies, improve your capacities, maybe as a taxpayer or maybe as a tax consultant or maybe as an employee, improve your capacity, improve your competency to manage your tax matters using this RAMIS system, right? So that is the end product, that is the end service. So at the end of this course, you will be able to deliver better service to your client. You will be able to deliver better service to your employer. As an individual taxpayer, you will be able to handle your tax matters without wasting your time and effectively. That is the target of this course. So for that purpose, both parties, that means taxpayers and the tax agent, both these parties can interact with the RAMIS system. So now the RAMIS is not only for the Inland Revenue, RAMIS is not only for the IRB officers, RAMIS is for the general public of this country. RAMIS is for the taxpayers of this country. RAMIS is for the tax agent of this country. So with that idea, we'll move to the next part. What is this RAMIS? What are the components of RAMIS? So once you do have some sort of idea, the RAMIS structure, you will be, it will be easy for you to understand the system, and you can have some idea about what kind of services that you can have through this RAMIS system. So let me introduce the RAMIS structure. Actually, it's a set of it's a set of modules, right? Integrated set of modules, right? That modules wise, there are several modules. Forms and return. For the forms and return, there's a particular module. There's another module called assessment. There's another module called payment and taxpayer finance. Another module called refund. Another module called appeal and objection. Another module called tax registration. So likewise, it's a collective, the integrated set of modules. And in addition to those modules, there are modules for the reporting, modules for the direction, module for the clearance, module for the collection, and kind of thing. So the backend, backend, it's a collection of modules, but as a taxpayer, as a tax consultant, you will see the integrated outcome of all these modules, right? So that is the RAMIS, and the RAMIS from other end, RAMIS provide the workflow management facility to the Inland Revenue, and it connect the information and interface agencies with the Inland Revenue. I hope you do have experience now. Once you open the individual income tax return, simplified version or even the standard version this year, you can see the employment incomes and the interest income related details already pop up in the system, in the return. That is because this system interconnected with the other government agencies. From the taxpayers' point of view, with the development of RAMIS, IRB has introduced certain other services like Taxpayer Service Center, IRB call center, and the e-service facility has been provided to the taxpayer. So what we can say, basically this RAMIS system, it's provide the link between the taxpayer and the tax administrator. You know, now even during the night time, even doesn't matter whether you are in Sri Lanka or in outside Sri Lanka, you can communicate with the IRB through the RAMIS. So what do you mean by the communication? What kind of communication? Any idea? what kind of communication that you can have from the IRB? Hello? Hello?
To find out the status of the taxpayer,
Sorry?
to find out the status of the taxpayers.
Definitely. So you can find out the status of the taxpayer because of the remis. You don't need to visit IRB physically, right? So you can access to the your account and you can find out the current status, right? You can make a request for the tax clearance. You can make a request for the profile update, right? So through the remis, it's make a link. Remis itself, it make a link between the taxpayer and the tax administrator. That is the most important part of this system, right? So with that idea, we'll move to the next slide. So what kind of services provided by the remis to the tax-paying community, right? So I told you there are several modules. So each of these modules provide separate services to the taxpayers, right? So if I begins with the registration module, right? So these are the kind of services provided by the registration module for the taxpayers. Basically, you can make a TIN registration request, right? So we'll see how we can do the TIN registration request, right? Taxpayer can do the TIN registration request. Taxpayer can request the PIN, right? PIN, taxpayer can request the PIN. Now taxpayer can authenticate the certificate. Taxpayer can check whether the person is registered for the IRB. That means whether the taxpayer registered for the TIN or not. And further, taxpayer can register for the different tax types as well through this registration module, right? Taxpayer can register for the VAT, taxpayer can register for the individual income tax, SSCL, corporate income tax, partnership tax. Likewise, taxpayer can register for the particular tax type. Taxpayer can have SSID. Taxpayer can have taxpayer can do the profile updation. So that kind of services are provided by the registration module. And then the forms and return and the assessment module, that through that module, taxpayer can do the e-filing. Taxpayer can e-file the different type of tax return. Here, the NBT also mentioned here, but now the NBT is not in force. But instead of that, we do have SSCL. And through the system, the taxpayer can submit whatever the tax return, whatever the relevant tax return. It may be corporate income tax, it may be partnership income tax return, it may be individual income tax return, it may be withholding tax return, pay return, whatever it is. Taxpayer can submit via this e-flat form. And assessment module, as participant, one of the participant answered earlier, through this module, taxpayer can check the current status of his or her tax file, right? And there's another module called payment and refund. Taxpayer can view the status of refund, right? And another module for the appeal and objection. Through this module, taxpayer can lodge the appeal and taxpayer can check the status of the appeal. Through the clearance module, taxpayer can request for the clearance certificate. Likewise, each module provide the specific service to the tax-paying community. Okay, so we'll move to the next. So now we do have some idea, right? We know who can interact with the remis, what are the type of facilities, what are the type of services taxpayer can have through the remis. Now we do have idea about that. So now the question is how we can access to the remis. So we have to access to the remis via Inland Revenue website. This is the Inland Revenue web address www.ird.gov.lk. Through this web address, right, everyone can access to the Inland Revenue website. This Inland Revenue website is available in all 3 languages. That means you can access to the Inland Revenue website in English language, Sinhala language, or the Tamil language as your preferences, right? So why we need to access to the Inland Revenue website? One is we have to access to the remis. Remis access, for the purpose of remis access, you have to open the Inland Revenue website. Not only that, not only for that, the Inland Revenue website, it will provide lot of informations, right? So let me introduce the Inland Revenue website first, right? So thereafter we can discuss the rest, right? So let me open my so this is the Inland Revenue website home page, right? So you can see here there are a lot of information in this home page. Let me share those informations, right? You can see my screen, no?
Yes, we can see it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the Inland Revenue website. Hope this is familiar to you all, most of you, right? But let me introduce some important information in this website, right? So the first thing, you can access to the Inland Revenue Acts, Gazette, and the relevant other details via this option. Hello. Through this download option, see. So, right, through this download option you can access to the acts, right? So once you access to the acts, right, you can download the income tax act, right, the previous income tax act or the current income tax act, right? Here this is the current income tax and its relevant amendment, right? Even you can access to the consolidated text of Inland Revenue Act as well, right? It will be very useful one. And you can access to the value added tax relevant value added tax act and its amendment. Likewise, you can access to the, you can download the acts from this website. And not only that, it contains the gazette notifications as well, right? You can access to the gazette notifications issued from year of assessment 2006, right? So year wise gazette notifications are available here. And what else? You can access to the forms and returns, right? So there are a lot of and various forms and returns here, right? The tax registration applications, you can download the tax registration applications, right? And you can access to the tax returns as well here. So this is the set return for 25-26, and this is the under this individual, you can access to the current, I mean 24-25 year of assessment individual income tax return right here. Okay, so you can so I think now it is okay, no?
Yes, it's
Even
okay
you
now.
can, yeah. So likewise, you can download the relevant returns and the guidelines, right? So let me open this guideline. Something. So okay, we'll try to download it again. Right, here it is. This is the online filing guideline published by the Inland Revenue right here. It's a very interesting one, right? With all these pictures, right? So it provides A to Z guide how to file the tax returns through this online platform, right? So you can use those options as well, right? And so that is one thing. So from the download, you can access to those information and the schedules and tools and quick guides and kind of things as well. Then I just want to show you this publication option. Through this publication option, you can access to the APIT tables, right? So advanced personal income tax tables, there are several tables, table 1, table 2, table 3, and you can access to the details. Information refers to the table application as well. How to apply the table 1, how to apply the table 2. There are those informations as well, right? So, and not only that, you can access to the IRB annual performance report, right? Some cases study purpose, you may need some details and statistics, right? In that case, you can access to the Inland Revenue annual performance report, right? Circulars, right? Can access to the circulars issued by the Inland Revenue time to time. So let me show you why those circulars are important, right? So certain tax applications comes through this circulars issued by the CGIR and the relevant officers, right? So there are a lot of circulars, right here. One is 2023 right here, this one, right? So this is the circular discuss about the non-cash benefit, how to value the non-cash benefits for the tax purpose. That means non-cash benefit from the employer, right? From the employment, right? Non-cash benefit from the employment, how to value the non-cash benefit for the pay or the APIT purpose, right? So that is why these circulars and all these information channels are important, because it provides the easy access to you to obtain certain information, right? And if you move to the home page again, right? If you move to the home page again, right? Even from the home page, you can have a lot of information. Sorry, I have to say that I had a issue with my computer. That is why I was just log out from the system. So that is one thing we have to face while we are dealing with this technology. So there are some issues because of the technology. So while we are working with the technology, we have to face that kind of difficulties, and we have to mitigate and overcome those difficulties as well. And other thing is, during this session, I am going to show you today itself, I am going to show you how to access to the RAMIS system, right? And how to log into the RAMIS, and what kind of details and what kind of information we can have through this RAMIS dashboard. That part also covered during the today's session, right? So now we move to the main purpose why we log to this Inland Revenue website. The main purpose is to log to the RAMIS system. Main purpose is to access to the RAMIS system, right? So let me show you how to access to the RAMIS via this Inland Revenue website, right? So for that purpose, we have to open this e-service, right? Once you move the cursor to this e-service option in the taskbar, right, there will be that kind of drop down. From this drop down, you have to select the access to e-service option, right? Once you select the access to e-service option, there will be a user interface like this, right? From this user interface, you can access to the RAMIS, as well you can do certain other things with the RAMIS system as well. Let me introduce the things that you can do through this access to e-service web page, right? The first thing, suppose you are not yet registered for the team, right? Suppose you are not yet registered for the team. If you are that kind of person, you can use this access to e-service web page to make a request for the team registration, right? For that purpose, you have to use this first option, this URL for the taxpayer registration, right? So once you click on this tax, okay, okay, so you have to use this taxpayer registration option. Once you click on that particular URL, there will be a form like this, right? So if you are a local individual, right? If you want to register for the RAMIS as a local individual, you have to select the local individual as a registration type and proceed. Then there will be this kind of application form, right? So here you have to enter your details as prescribed here, right? So let me enter my identity card number. We'll see what does the system say, right? So system recognize I have been already registered with the Inland Revenue. So you can see it says applicant has been registered in IRB. That means I cannot make another request this particular IC, right? So but by this one, you can check whether you have already registered with the IRB or not, right? If you already registered, there will be a message like this. If not, what you can do is you can enter the requested detail here, right? The full name of the applicant, and the name with initials, date of birth, gender, country of birth, and the resident status, citizenship status, source of income, profession, and permanent address. So the mandatory field, all these mandatory fields are highlighted with the star mark, right? So the fields are highlighted with the star mark. Those fields are mandatory. You have to fill all these star mark cages, right? And you have to attach the proof for your resident address. That proof is the NIC. Now NIC, your NIC, both sides of your NIC have to submit with this application form. It may be in JPG format or even the PDF format, right? So you have to enter all these relevant details, and then you have to click the next button. Once you click the next button, right, there's another web page, and that web page, there's an option to submit it, right? Once you submit it, you will receive the acknowledgement for this request, and within few days period, right, IRB will issue the TIN certificate for the this particular request. So that is one thing, right? That is one service that you can have from this access to e-service web page, right? You can register for the TIN, right? Now, say you have already registered for the TIN. Now you need the PIN number to access with the REMIS, right? So by using just the TIN, you cannot access to the REMIS. I will show you it later, right? You need to have a TIN number as well as PIN number to access to the REMIS system, right? So suppose now you have already registered, you do have a TIN number, but you don't have PIN. So how can you have a PIN? That is one scenario. The second scenario, you have already registered with the IRB, you do have a TIN, and you already have a PIN as well, but unfortunately you can't remember the PIN. So even in that case as well, you can make a new PIN request. You can request for the PIN, right? And there may be a third scenario. You have a TIN and you do have a PIN as well. You know the PIN, but once you enter that PIN, it's not working. Even in that scenario, what you can do is you can make a PIN request. From where you need to do the PIN request? From this option, right? So here, click on PIN request. You can click on this, and then there will be a web page like this, right? Form like this. What you have to do is here you have to enter your TIN, right? And you have to enter your name, taxpayer name. English is enough. No need to enter this Tamil and Sinhala names. But if you wish, can, right? Contact number you have to enter, right? Then you have to select the acquisition mode. Acquisition mode, actually, it's the mode of delivery, right? So there are two acquisition mode, delivery mode. One is email and other one is the postal, right? But if you select the email mode, right, you have to enter your email address here. If that email address is not updated in your profile at IRB, system will say that email is not verified. Therefore, you have to select the other mode. That means postal mode. So if it is so, what you have to do is you have to select the postal as the mode of acquisition. But in case your email address is already in the IRB system, right? Soon after you submit this PIN request, system will issue PIN and it will come to your email as well. But anyhow, if your email address is not there, right, you have to select the other option. That means postal, right? Then the PIN will comes to your permanent place of residence or the permanent address through the post, right? So so if you do any questions refers to this PIN request and the PIN request. Okay, so we can explain in Sinhala as well. There are few questions. Is PIN certificate issued along with the TIN certificate? Yes, now PIN certificate issued along with the TIN certificate. but earlier there were some cases tin certificate issued without pin. So now it is not like that. Now, as you ask here, pin certificate or the pin mailer will be issued along with the tin certificate. මේක මම පොඩ්ඩක් සිංහලෙන් කියන්න. ප්‍රශ්නත් සිංහලෙන් සහ ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් දෙකම අහන්න පුළුවන්. අපි දැන් මේ කතා කරන්නේ ඇත්තටම රැමිස් සිස්ටම් එකට අපි කොතනින්ද ලොග් වෙන්නේ කියන එක අපි කතා කළා. අපිට ඉංග්ලන්ඩ් රෙවෙනියු වෙබ්සයිට් එක හරහා රැමිස් සිස්ටම් එකට ලොග් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. රැමිස් සිස්ටම් එකට ඉංග්ලන්ඩ් රෙවෙනියු වෙබ්සයිට් එක හරහා අපි ලොග් වෙන්නේ අර access to e-service කියන ඔප්ෂන් එක යූස් කරලා access to e-service කියන වෙබ් පේජ් එකට අපි ගියාම එතන එන view එක තමයි මෙන්න මේ තියෙන්නේ. මෙන්න මේ view එකේ ඉඳලා මේ access to e-service මෙන්න මේ image එකේ ඉඳලා නැත්නම් මේ web page එකේ ඉඳලා අපිට කාරණා කීපයක් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. අපිට tin registration request එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඊළඟට pin request එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට අමතරව තවත් කීපයක් තියෙනවා. මම ඒවා time to time කියන්න. අපි දැන් මේ කතා කරන්නේ අපි මුලින් කතා කළේ tin registration එකක් request කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා. ඉන්ඩිවිජුවල් කෙනෙක් විදිහට tin registration එකක් රික්වෙස්ට් කරනවා නම් අර ඉන්ඩිවිජුවල් ලෝකල් කියන registration type එක සිලෙක්ට් කරලා එන ෆෝම් එකේ ඒ අදාළ තොරතුරු ටික අපි එන්ටර් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින්දී මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ වැදගත් කාරණයක් තමයි ඉන්ඩිවිජුවල් ලෝකල් කෙනෙක්ට අදාළව registration type එක සිලෙක්ට් කරලා අපි tin request නැත්නම් tin එකක් සඳහා මේ ෆෝරමයක් පුරවනකොට අපි අපේ identity card එකේ පැති දෙකම ස්කෑන් කරලා හරි නැත්නම් ෆොටෝ එකක් අරගෙන හරි මේ සිස්ටම් එකට අප්ලෝඩ් කරන්න අමතක කරන්න එපා. රයිට්? එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ රෙජිස්ට්‍රේෂන් එක සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඊළඟ අවශ්‍යතාවයේ එන්නේ පින් එකක්. දැන් පින් එකක් තියෙන කෙනෙක්ට පින් එකෙන් විතරක් බෑ මේ රැමිස් සිස්ටම් එකට ලොග් වෙන්න. ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඒ සඳහා පින් එකකුත් අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. දැන් මම මේ කතා කරමින් ඉන්නේ පින් එකක් කොහොමද ගන්නේ කියන කාරණාව. ඒක ගන්න පුළුවන් අපිට මෙන්න මෙතනින් මේ පින් රික්වෙස්ට් කියන එක හරහා මෙන්න මේ වෙබ් පේජ් එකට ගිහිල්ලා මේකට අදාළ තොරතුරු ටින් නම්බර් එක. එතකොට පින් එකක් ගන්න අනිවාර්යෙන් ටින් නම්බරයක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ටින් නම්බරයක් නැති කෙනෙකුට පින් එකක් ගන්න බෑ. මූලික දේ තමයි ටින් එක. ටින් එක ගත්තන් පස්සේ තමයි පින් එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඔය පින් එකක් ගන්න වෙන අවස්ථා කීපයක් දෙනවා. මෙතන ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහනවා. ඇත්තටම අර පින් සර්ටිෆිකේට් එකත් එක්ක දැන් පින් එක ඉෂුව කරනවා. හැබැයි කලින් තිබ්බා ටින් එක විතරක් ඉෂුව කරපු අවස්ථා. එතකොට ඒ වගේ අයට ටින් එක විතරක් තියෙනවා නම් පින් එක හම්බුනේ නැත්තම් පින් එකක් මෙතනින් රික්වෙස්ට් කරලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්තම් කාගේ හරි දැනට තියෙන පින් එක වැඩ කරන්නේ නැත්තම් යාට පින් එකක් රික්වෙස්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්තම් පින් එක මතක නැත්තම් ඒ පින් එකක් රික්වෙස්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So that is what we discussed. Right? So there's another question. How can we link the email address to the IRD portal? That's very good question. Right? So now suppose your email address is not there. So in that case, what you have to do is you have to select the postal mode as the mode of acquisition and you have to submit this. Once you submit this, you can have the pin mailer by post, right? Then you can log into the system using that pin, right? Once you log into the system, right? Once you log into the your account in Ramis, then you can update your email address and the other things. We'll show you, right? So how to update. So we move to the another question. We have, I think, 2 more. Okay, so I will show you how to update the email address. What is SSID after taking PIN? Okay, so that SSID is not need for the individuals, right? Individuals can manage their tax matters using the using only the TIN and PIN. SSID is not important, it mandatory, necessary to return filing for the corporates, partnership and that kind of category, right? So we'll do a detailed session regarding the SSID once we move to the corporate income tax, right? So till then we'll focus on the individual. Therefore PIN and TIN is enough for the individual return filing and tax administration purposes. We'll do detailed session of SSID in the 3rd session once we start the corporate income tax. And another one, local individual කියන එක ආයතන වලටත් අදාළද? No. for the institutions, they have to select the right registration type. Let me show you, right? So taxpayer registration, once we open the taxpayer registration URL, there are several registration types. Company, if it is a registered company, you have to select the registered company. Foreign company, you have to select the foreign company. So likewise, there are individual local, individual foreigner, individual child, partnership, association and clubs, branch, charity, cooperative, embassies, government institution, joint ventures, NGOs, others likewise, based on the person's type or based on your entity, you have to select the right registration type. So local individual only for the individuals. මේ තනි පුද්ගලයන්ට විතරයි local individual කියන්නේ. අනිත් අය ඒ අදාළ registration type එක select කරන්න ඕනේ tin request එකක් කරන්න. Okay. So based on that, the application form will be differ, right? The application form for the local individual will be different from the registered company, right? Okay, so we have another question. I think normally individual NIC numbers have been registered by the IRB automatically. Yes, most of the individual NICs are now registered, right? So figure wise, you know, it's we do have according to the identity card office, Department of Registration, right? There are almost 17 million identity card holders in Sri Lanka. So up to now, out of those 17 million identity card holders, almost 12 million people have been registered for the team, right? So but it doesn't mean all these 12 million registered for the individual income tax type. It's not like that. It's two different things. I will come to that point, right? So just the TIN registration, has been completed for almost 12 million people. So if you check whether your identity card number, using your identity card number, if you check whether you can apply for the TIN or not, you will be realized whether you do have the TIN registration or not. But unfortunately, this system does not show your TIN number, right? So if you are registered, you have to contact the Inland Revenue to have this TIN number if it is not mailed to you, right? What are the specific occasion that IDs must register the IR? Can you elaborate that question? What are the specific occasion that IDs must registered means what? You mean so according to the current legislation, right? So each and every person who older than 18 years, that means everyone who older than 18 years, they have to register for the TIN, right? It is not necessary to register for the tax type, but they need to register for the TIN. They should have a TIN, right? If they are more than 18 years old, they need to register, right? So that's it. Okay, so we discussed two options. One is the taxpayer registration, that means request for PIN and request for the PIN. What else we can do with this access to e-service web page, right? This is the another option, authentication of staff and the tax agent, right? So this is basically for the corporates, partnership and kind of thing, right? If you are a corporate, first you have to access to the REMIS via this option. Thereafter, you have to request SSID and the SSID password. Once you receive the SSID and SSID password, using that SSID and SSID passwords, you can again logged into the system for the purpose of return filing. We'll discuss that part once we move to the corporate matters, right? So another question. Yeah, TIN එකක් තියෙනවා. මොකද NIC අංකයට TIN එකක් තියෙනවා නම් tax ගෙවන්න ඕනිද කියන එක අතන ගත්තොත් ඕන් නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. If your income is below the threshold, ඔයාගේ ආදායම දැනට තියෙන threshold එක දැන් 25 26 taxේරු වර්ෂය ගත්තාම threshold එක තියෙන්නේ 1.8 million. අවුරුද්දක ආදායම 1.8 million වලට වඩා අඩු නම් ඔයාට tax type වලට register වෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. tax ගෙවන්න අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වුණාට ඔයා වයස අවුරුදු 18ට වඩා වැඩි නම් you have to register for the TIN, right? So you no need to request for the TIN, right? The IRD will register the individual, those who are over the 18 years, right? So using the information received from the the Department of Individual Registration. අර පුද්ගලින් ලියාපදිංචි කිරීමේ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ තොරතුරු වලට ලින්ක් එකක් තියෙනවා ඉන්ලන්ඩ් රෙවෙනියු එකට මේ රැමිස් එක හරහා ඒ තොරතුරු මත පදනම් වෙලා TIN එකක් ඉල්ලුවත් නැතත් ඒක ලීගල් රික්වයර්මන්ට් එකක් අවුරුදු 18ට වැඩි හැමෝම TIN එකක් සඳහා ලියාපදිංචි වෙන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට අන්න ඒක යටතේ ඔයා අවුරුදු 18ට වැඩි නම් ආදායම පිළිබඳ සැලකිය කරන්නේ දෙවෙනි වටේදී ඔයාව TIN එකට රෙජිස්ටර් කරනවා. ඒක තමයි ඔය දැන් ඇත්තටම අවුරුදු 18ට වඩා වැඩි සමහර විට යුනිවර්සිටි ස්ටුඩන්ට්ලට TIN එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ වුණාට ඒකෙන් අදහස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ TIN එකක් තිබුණු හැමෝම බදු ගෙවන්න ඕනේ නැත්නම් TIN එකක් තිබුණු හැමෝම මේ tax return file කරන්න ඕනේ කියන එක අදහස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ tax return file කරන්න ඕනේ වෙන්නේ අදාළ tax type එකට නැත්නම් අදාළ බදු වර්ගය සඳහා රෙජිස්ටර් වෙලා ඉන්නවා නම් විතරයි. right? Okay. So if you do have issues further, continuously ask questions, right? So we have discussed up to this point. So verify authenticity of certificate, right? Through this option, someone can check whether you are registered or not, and you can verify the certificate as well. So verify registration. Let me verify my registration. I have already registered, right? So once I enter my NIC number here, system will say you are already registered. We'll see. We have to enter this captcha. So, see, it doesn't matter whether it is capital or simple, right? Right? Search. Invalid ideas. One letter, one number is missing. Here it says you are already registered with the Inland Revenue Department. If you have not received taxpayer registration certificate, you may visit IRD head office or nearest metro regional office to obtain taxpayer registration certificate. So see, so we do have some questions as well. We'll see. If I am already registered, how can I get my PIN? This is the way, right? If you are already registered, you have to visit IRD head office or the nearest regional office to have PIN certificate. But you can contact the IRD customer supporting unit as well. They also provide the PIN, right? Once they prove that, once they clearly identified that you are the person who registered, and they may ask some details. Once you provide those details, they will give you your TIN number. Even if you contact myself during the weekdays, I also can give you a TIN number. So at the end of this session, I will share my contact details, right? So we'll do it, right? So that is one of the what I can say. That is one of the issue with the current Ramis system, right? So it does not show the PIN number, maybe because of some security reason and kind of thing. Anyhow, I think personally, I believe it's better if the person can once the person enter their NIC number and relevant other details, system should show the PIN, right? Otherwise, it will be issue, right? Taxpayer has to contact the IRD always to have the PIN. Oh, sorry, not the PIN. අලුත් PIN එකක් ගත්තා ඒකෙන් log වෙන්න බැරි වෙන්නේ ඇයි? It can't be. If you do have a new PIN, ඔයාට ඒකෙන් log වෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන. මොකක් හරි වෙලා බැරි වෙනවා නම් ඒ අලුත් ගත්ත PIN එකකිනුත් log වෙන්න තව PIN request එකක් දාන්න, right? So it doesn't matter, you can make any number of PIN requests, right? අලුත් PIN එකක් දාන්න ඒකෙනුත් log වෙන්න බැරි වුණොත් contact කරන්න මගේ contact detail එක මම දෙන්නම්. Now can you see the screen? Email disconnect. With the IRB to get information to force registration for issuing payment. What are the other government and private organizations that are linked? Most of the banks are linked, and Department of Immigration, I think, linked. Not 100% sure. The discussion was going on to link the Department of Immigration and the land registration, and even now the custom is linked. So those are the organizations linked with the IRB at the moment. Even I think discussion is going on with the RMB as well. I'm not sure whether it is linked or not. Custom supporting, okay. So they may have a lot of phone calls, right? So yeah, so sometimes තියෙනවා දේවල් දියුණු කරගන්න සහ වැඩි දියුණු කරගන්න. So we'll see, right? ෆෝන් එකට සමහරට ආන්සර් නොකරන වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මම හිතන්නේ ඒක මම කියන්නේ ඒක හොඳ දෙයක් කියලා. ඇත්තට මේක වැරදි ෆෝන් එකට ආන්සර් නොකරන එක. මොකක් හරි රීසන් එකක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒ ෆෝන් එකට ආන්සර් නොකරන්න ඒ වෙලාවේ අපි ඒවා දිනු කර ගන්න ඕනි තැන් ඇත්තටම කාගේ හරි දැන් මේ කෝස් එකේ ඉන්න කෙනෙක්ට ටීම් එකක් ඕන නම් මම මගේ contact detail එකක් දෙන්නම් ඒකටත් කතා කරන්න, right? නැත්නම් මට WhatsApp message එකක් දාන්න මම මගේ WhatsApp contact එක දෙන්නම්. අපි එතකොට මම එතනින් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. All the bank also link with the IRB now. Most of the banks, yes, link for the IRB, link with the IRB. Okay, so we move to the next, right? So now we know the verification part. We have done the verification. So what else we can do? So payment voucher number. This is very important topic for the day, right? You know, can someone say when do you need to do the final payment for the year of assessment 24-25? Can someone say the final payment date? Final payment or no, before when you need to do the final payment?
30th of September.
30th of September. Yeah. So people are hurry to pay this final payment, right? If you fail to pay this total liability or no before 30th September 2025 for the year of assessment 24-25, you will be liable to the 10% penalty, right? So once you go to pay this liability through the e-service facilities, through the banking app, so the e-platform, some may do have this experience, it requests DIN number, right? So that DIN number, it is available here, right? You can have the DIN number from this option, search pay in slip, right? So you have to enter the DIN and you have to enter the tax type and you have to enter the tax period. Then this search. This is my DIN, and those are the DIN for me, right? In case you need to know the DIN, you can access to the DIN via this option. So let me show it again, right? Payment voucher number. ඔයාලා මේ app එකක් කරා මොකක් හරි බැංකුවක app එකක් කරා මේ final payment එකක් කරන්න හදනකොට ඔයාගෙන් DIN number එක යොදින් මෙන්න මෙතනින් access කරලා මේ payment voucher number කියන තැනින් access කරලා මෙතනදී අහන මෙන්න මේ details ටික මම මේ පුරවපු details ටික DIN number එක tax type එක payment type එක self tax period එක සහ මේ කියන captcha එක enter කරලා search කළාම ඔයාගේ මේ අවුරුද්දට අදාළ 24-25-0 කියන්නේ මේ September 30th payment එක final payment එක සහ මේ 24-25 තක්සේරු වර්ෂයට අදාළ අනිත් quarter payment වලට බලපාන නැත්නම් අදාළ වුණු DIN number එක පෙන්නනවා. මෙන්න මේ DIN number එක. right? Can I see tax certificate image? Right now, I do not prepare tax certificate image. I will show it on next session, right? Recently, I got PIN number via email for corporate company. After that, all right. Okay, if you do have the PIN for the corporate, then what you have to do is you have to access to the system. You have to access to the e-service from here. Staff authorization, right? From here, you have to enter the company PIN here and the company PIN here, and then you have to log into the dashboard. From the dashboard, you have to make a SSID request. We'll show you, right? Okay, so we have to discuss up to here. Thereafter, there's another part here in this user interface. This is to log into the system as an individual taxpayer or as a corporate partnership taxpayer or as a tax agent. Let me show you what we have to do in order to log into the system as an individual taxpayer. You need to know your TIN, right? So I'm enter my personal TIN number here. And then I have to enter my PIN number. You know the PIN number should be 8 characters, right? It should contain both letters and the numbers, right? That is the requirement for the PIN. If this is the first time you are logging using the PIN issued by the Inland Revenue, the PIN issued by the Inland Revenue, it contains 14 characters, right? You have to enter those 14 characters PIN. If it is the first time you are using that PIN number, once you enter the PIN issued by the Inland Revenue, system say you have to convert it into your own one. So now I am using my own one. That is why there are only 8 characters. If not, if it is a PIN issued by the Inland Revenue, there are 14 characters. Then I have to click the login. here I'm in my dashboard. So once you log into the dashboard, you can confirm whether that's you or somebody else. This is my TIN number. So I know I'm in my dashboard. So I can access to the lot of information via this dashboard. So first, let me show you the tax registration option, right? So here, once you move the cursor to this taxpayer registration icon or the taxpayer registration uh, note in the taskbar, right? There will be this kind of drop down. From this drop down, you can download, right? Through this drop down, you can download. You can update the email here. Somebody asked how to update the email address. You can update the email address from here, right? So here, so now I'm not going to update it. This is my personal email address. But if this is not available, if this is not correct in your case, what you can do is you can update it, right? So you can change the password right here. You can change the password, and you can change the taxpayer detail request, right? You can make the request to change your personal detail. That means you can make a request to change your address, right? You cannot change the address by yourself, but you can do is you can make a request to change. ඔයාලට මෙතනින් change එකට request එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ ඒක අනුව inventory revenue එක ඔයා දෙන details අනුව මේක change කරනවද නැද්ද කියන එක තීරණය කරනවා. ඉතින් ඒ අදාළ තොරතුරු දුන්නොත් ඒක change කරනවා. Okay. What happen if I use incorrect DIN number for the payment? So I also need to check it, right? So we'll check it, right? So I do not have that kind of experience. We'll check it, right? A person have personal business and job. He already pay for the tax to salary income. Is he need to pay things for the business? No. They never. No one can have two things, right? Even the person do have business income. Hello.
Consulate වෙලා ගියාලු ආශ්‍රයයකට කොහෙද එතනදී ඉතින් හොඳට දවල්ට සිටියලු හන්දාගේ කෙනෙක්ට පොඩ semi conscious yeah and then take it
do you have any question? If not, please mute your microphones.
තමයි හිතන්නේ ගන්න ගාම මේ ටයිම් එක කොහොම කියන්නම් කියලා තිබ්බා.
Hello, if you are not asking any question, please make sure to mute your microphones, right? Okay. So no one can have two things, right? So the individual can have only one thing, right? He has to open only one account, one thing, and he has to disclose his employment income, business income, investment income, and any other income via that particular thing, right? මේ employment එකට එකයි business එකට එකයි කියලා වෙන වෙනම team එන්නේ නැහැ, right? Okay. So අපිට taxpayer details update කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? Right. So right, what else we can do? Let me introduce the web page first, right? So right, dashboard first, then we move to the rest, right? So taxpayer registration එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් තව මොනවද දැනගන්න ඕන නම් අහන්න. මේක හරහා email එක update කරගන්න පුළුවන්, address එක change කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට අමතරව වැදගත්ම දේ tax type registration request එක. So now suppose you do have a TIN, right? But you are not registered for the individual income tax type. But if you know your income is now more than the personal relief amount, that means your income is more than 1.8 million, that means you need to register for the individual income tax type as well. You need to register and you need to submit the return and you need to pay the income tax. ඔයා එහෙම දන්නව නම් ඔයා ගැන ඔයාගේ ආදායමත් මිලියන 1.8ට වඩා වැඩි නම් ඔයා already tin එකකට register වෙලා තියෙනවා but ඔයා tax type එකට register වෙලා නැත්නම් ඔයාලා මෙන්න මෙතනින් tax type registration request එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Let me show you here. So I am already registered with this individual income tax type. My tax type status is active, so I cannot make another request for the individual income tax. But if in your case, if you are not registered for the individual income tax type, it's your responsibility. මේක ඇත්තටම මේ ඔයාගේ යුතුයකමක් තියෙනවා. ඔයා ඒ වයස් සීමාවට වැඩියෙන් ඉන්නවා නම් සහ ආදායම් සීමාවට වැඩියෙන් ඉන්නවා නම් tax type එකට register වෙලා අදාළ බදු මුදල ගෙවන්න. You know the main principle of the income tax. The tax actually, tax is for the benefit of whole, right? Tax is for the benefit of whole. අපි බදු ගෙවන්නේ හැමෝගෙම යහපත වෙන්නේ. Even though we do not have direct benefit from the tax or from the payment of tax, you and me, everybody benefited, maybe indirectly. All of us indirectly benefited by this tax. එහෙම කියන්නේ මොකද? ඇත්තටම මේ අපි යන පාරවල් හදන්නේ නැත්නම් මේ අපේ මේ මොකක්ද කියන්නේ water system එක කියන්නේ ඔය tap line එකෙන් වතුර එන ඒවා develop කරන්නේ අපි infrastructure develop කරන්නේ electricity develop කරන්නේ මේ ඔක්කොම කරන්නේ මේ බදු ගෙවන සල්ලි වලින්. ඒ හින්දා අපි කාර්යයෙන් බලන් අපි government school එක ඉගෙන ගන්නේ නැහැ. අපි government මේ hospital එකෙන් බෙහෙත් ගන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොටයි අපි හැබැයි නෑ අපි ඒ tax ගෙවන්න ඕනේ මොකද tax we pay the tax for the benefit of whole. හැමෝගෙම යහපත වෙනුවෙන් තමයි අපි tax ගෙවන්නේ. And other thing is even the richest person also indirectly benefited by the tax system, right? There are some more questions. What is the clearance taskbar? What is the clearance taskbar? Clearance taskbar. So clearance taskbar, in certain cases, taxpayers has to have a tax clearance certificate of that from the IRB, especially when you migrate. Not at the point of migration. Once you want to transfer money to other country, you need to have a tax clearance certificate from the IRB. Even for some business registration and the trade certificate, you need to have a tax clearance certificate from the IRB. So in case you need the tax clearance certificate, you can request a clearance certificate via this web page. When we get the tax type registration, why that just go to another department? No, not to the another department. It goes to the Inland Revenue. So why do you say another department? Not to the another department. It goes to the Inland Revenue. Another question. When we request the tax citation, why that request go to another department? So we see it's not another department. Department means you means unit, no? For example, if you request a permanent VAT registry, actually I don't know the exact reason for this. You are referring to unit, I think, not the department. Unit within the Inland Revenue. We'll check this issue, right? We'll check this issue and we'll come back with the answer for the next time. Okay, so here we were in the tax type registration, and so basically those services we can have, and we can access to those information via this dashboard icon as well. Return filing summary. This is my return filing summary, right? The two return has been submitted, right? the return is status SA completed, that means submitted. 24-21 return is issued, that means still it has not been submitted. It has to be submitted on or before 30th November, right? I can access to the return filing summary via this option. Let me show you. So this is it. This is my return filing summary. 2 return has been already submitted. This one I have to submit, right? So that's it. Okay. So for a while I'll log out, right? So here, right. Again, I'm in the website now. Inner Revenue website, e-service web page, right? So likewise, individual taxpayer, even corporate and partnership taxpayer also can log into the system through this option, right? Have to select it here. If you wish to log to the system via company or the business tax matters, here you have to enter the SSID. Instead of PIN, you have to enter the SSID and SSID PIN, the password for that particular SSID, and then the company PIN number, right? So this is the way you need to register. You need to log into the system as a corporate or the business tax matters. Another 2 questions. Now only salary and pay API do we need to register for the tax category and what? Yes, according to the current legislation, even though you do have the only thing is if you do have exclusively salary, as per the law, you no need to submit the tax return. But no one can have exclusively salary income now, no, because at least salary goes to the bank account. No? Therefore, you should have a bank account, and since you do have a bank account, at least you do have the interest income, at least even 1 rupee interest income. If you do have at least 1 rupee interest income, that means you do have income other than the employment. Therefore, you need to register and you need to submit the return. So tax agent means the tax consultants and tax agents are there. No? So on behalf of the taxpayer can appoint and tax agent to handle their tax matters. So not only the taxpayer, even the tax agent can log into the system on behalf of their client, right? SSID will discuss, right? We'll explain the SSID on the week after next week while we are discussing the corporate tax matters, right? Let me open the presentation again, right? Leave it here. So okay, we were here, no? We were here. So give me 5 seconds. I will be back within 5 seconds. So how can we submit the API to return, because it's already past red notice date. So even the red notice comes and even the return filing days lapse, still you can submit it via this e-platform. It doesn't matter whether the red notice issued or the return filing due dates are lapsed, you can submit it, right? So give me just 5 seconds. I will be back within 5 seconds. Okay. So we'll see. So we have explained the IRD web portal and the Ranis access page. So let me move forward, right? Registration functions also we discussed. I have shown you how to use the registration functions, right? So through this web page, you have to select the individual local, and thereafter you have to enter the relevant details, right? And registration function you can use for the TIN registration, you can use for the FIN request, and you can use for the tax type registration. And not only that, even you can use this registration function for the SSID request, right? So we'll show you how to use this SSID and how to authorize this SSID and how to request this SSID. First of all, you have to request this SSID. Thereafter, you have to authorize this SSID. Then only you can log into the system using those SSID. It is not applicable for the individual. This SSID is basically applicable for the corporate and partnership, right? This is the registration form. I have already shown this, the online platform, right? And the we come to the return filing part, right? So according to the legislation, return has to be filed on or before 30th November 2025 for the year of assessment 24-25. So it's clear, right? So not only that, right? According to the legislation, right? The taxpayer, even the individual taxpayer, has to submit the income tax return electronically through the use of computer system or mobile electronic devices. මේ දේශීය ආදායම් පනතට 2023 අංක 4 දරන දේශීය ආදායම් සංශෝධිත පනතින් ආපු මේ නීතිය ප්‍රකාරව individual taxpayer කෙනෙකුත් අනිවාර්යෙන්ම මේ e-filing ක්‍රමවේදය හරහා තමයි මේ 2023-24 taxpayer වර්ෂයේ ඉඳලා ඉදිරි කාල සඳහා මේ ආදායම් වාර්තාව මේ රැනිස් පද්ධතිය හරහා තමයි ඉලෙක්ට්‍රොනිකලි දෙන්න ඕනේ. Before that, it was allowed to submit the return through printed format. But now, from the year of assessment 23-24 onward, it is not allowed to submit the individual income tax return using the manual format. But in case person do have some difficulty in submitting the return via this e-platform, right? They can submit the return through the printed format with the prior approval from the CGIR. Commissioner General ගෙන් දත්ත prior approval එකක් මත යම්කිසි කෙනෙකුට පුළුවන් මේ බදු වාර්තාව තාමත් physically බාර දෙන්න. හැබැයි ඒකට CGIR ගෙන් කලින් approval එකක් ගන්න අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. Any questions? No questions? Okay. And then the login to the system, I have already shown how to log in. First, we have to access to the e-service, right? From the access to e-service web page, we have to select this option, individual taxpayer. In order to log into the system as an individual taxpayer, we have to use this option. Once you click on this individual taxpayer and click the proceed button, මෙන්න මේ UI එක හම්බ වෙනවා. There will be a UI like this, user interface like this, right? Here you have to enter your TIN and your PIN, right? Those who do have TIN and PIN, they can log into the system. They can log into your own account in the Ranis system. This is actually like you are logging to your bank account via the app or via the e-format. ඔයාලා දැන් ඒක ඇත්තම ගොඩක් දිනකට පුරුදු දෙයක් නේ. බැංකින් ඇප් එකක් එක්ක සම්බන්ධ වෙන එක මේ PIN එකයි TIN එකයි එන්ටර් කළා banking app එක මීට අමතරව ඇත්තටම මේ OTP එකකුත් එනවා සමහර ඒවාදී එතන log වෙද්දි. හැබැයි here there's no OTP, right? There's no OTP. Instead of OTP here you have to enter this captcha, right? මෙන්න මෙතන තියෙන captcha එක ඔයා enter කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේම මේ captcha එකේ තියෙන අකුරු ටික පේන්නේ නැත්නම් යම් කිසි දෙයකින් අපහැදිලි නම් you can use this refresh button, right? Not the button, actually refresh option. Once you click this refresh option, the letters will be changed, right? ඒක හරහා ඔයාලට මේක refresh කරගන්න පුළුවන්. So another pin එක ගන්න විදිය මම කිව්වා pin එක ගන්න අර pin request එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතෙන්දී ඒක email එක තියෙනවා නම් email එකෙන් එයි. එහෙම නැත්නම් post එකෙන් එනවා, right? Okay, so then move to the next. This is the dashboard we already discussed, right? From the dashboard we can access to the taxpayer registration, and we can access to the return schedule management, we can access to the profile details, we can access to the account summary, we can access to the clearance certificate request. So we can do lot once you log into the system and the dashboard is open. මේ dashboard එක හරහා මේ කියන option වලට log වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඊළඟට මේ තියෙන්නේ අතරම මේ අර මම කලින් පෙන්නපු return filing status එක, right? Return filing status එක මේ තියෙන්නේ. එතන පෙන්නනවා මොන return ද submit කරලා තියෙන්නේ, මොන returns ද submit කරන්න තියෙන්නේ කියන එක. So through this return filing option or return filing summary page, you can just see how many returns you have already submitted and how many returns you have to submit, right? That information you can access to the return filing summary page. The next one, right? That's the one. So now we focus on the return filing. So far we focus on the basically the registration related options. What we can do via Remis for the purpose of tax registration. So now we focus on the return filing. So now suppose you registered taxpayer and you have a PIN and you have already registered for the particular tax type, then only you are eligible to submit the tax return. බදු වාර්තාවක් දෙන්න යම්කිසි කෙනෙක් බැඳෙන්නේ නැත්නම් බදු වාර්තාවක් දෙන්න යම්කිසි බදු ගෙවන්නේ බදු වාර්තාවක් දෙන්න යම්කිසි පුද්ගලයෙක් liable වෙන්නේ පළවෙනියෙන්ම මෙන්න මේ කියන අවශ්‍යතා තුන සම්පූර්ණ කරලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ ක්‍රමවේදය හරහා නැත්නම් මේ රෙමිස් සිස්ටම් එක හරහා බදු වාර්තාවක් දෙන්න මේ අමතරව පින් එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. දැන් අත්‍තරම මෙන්න මේ කියන පළවෙනි කාරණා තුන සම්පූර්ණ කරපු කෙනෙකුට තමයි පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ බදු වාර්තාවක් ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න. මොනවද මේ පළවෙනි අවශ්‍යතා තුන? PIN registration එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. It's the first thing, right? The PIN, just PIN is not enough to log into the system. You need to have a PIN as well. Suppose now you do have a PIN and you do have a PIN as well. Thereafter, if your income is more than 1.8 million per annum, you need to register for the particular tax type, right? So suppose now it also fulfilled. You have already registered for the individual income tax type as well. Then මේ අවශ්‍යතා තුනම සම්පූර්ණ වෙලා තියෙනවා. Individual income tax type එකකට ඔයා register වෙලා තියෙනවා, right? ඔන්න ඔය කියන අවශ්‍යතා තුන සම්පූර්ණ නම් you have fulfilled the primary requirement for the return filing. But still you cannot file the return. Why? Inland Revenue has to issue the particular return. Once the Inland Revenue issued the particular return, then only you can submit it. Then only you can access to the return, and then only you can file the return, right? So සමහර experience තියෙනවා සමහර taxpayers ලා PIN එකක් හම්බුණාම එයා හිතන් ඉන්නේ එයා tax type එකට register කියලා. සමහර අය PIN එකක් හම්බුණාම මේ PIN එකට අදාළව tax payment එක කරනවා. But once they comes to the return filing summary, they cannot see any return. Why? Maybe few reasons. One, that person may not register for the individual income tax type. That is one and major thing, right? If you are not registered for the individual income tax type, even though you do have a TIN and PIN, you cannot access to the return. That is one thing. The other thing, he may be registered for the individual income tax type, but he may register after the return issuance date, right? So assume the return has been issued for the year of, so this year return has been issued very beginning. That means for this year of assessment, return has been issued, for the year of assessment 24-25, return has been issued on the first week of the June, right? So, so assume now you have registered for the individual income tax type after that date. That means on first date of August, right? So once you register for the individual income tax type, return has been already issued. So in that case, return may not issued for UOT, right? So if you wish to submit the individual income tax return for the year of assessment 24-25, and you have been registered for the individual income tax type after issuance due date, you can do two things, right? So if return has not been issued by the IRB, what does the taxpayer can do? Taxpayer can do two things. First thing, taxpayer can do the self-issuance. There's a self-issuance option here. See, so once you log into the dashboard, that means once you enter to the RAMIS system using your TIN and PIN, you can issue the return for yourself, right? ඔයාටම ඔයාගේ return එක issue කරගන්න පුළුවන්. මෙන්න මෙතන තියෙනවා. මෙතනින් මම පෙන්නලා තියෙන්නේ self issuance කියලා. මම ආයි මේක පෙන්නන්න. මේ self issuance හරහා ගිහිල්ලා මේ නැත්නම් මේ return issuance හරහා ගිහිල්ලා ඔයාටම return එක issue කරගන්න පුළුවන්. That is the option number 1. Second option, you can ask taxpayer registration unit to issue the return for that particular year of assessment. ඔයාට option දෙකම තියෙනවා, right? ඔයාට self issue කරගන්නත් පුළුවන්, නැත්නම් taxpayer registration unit එකෙන් request එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන් return එක issue කරන්න කියලා. So now once all these 4 pre-requirements are completed, then you can start the return filing. ඒ වගේම PIN එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් මතක් කරන්න තියෙනවා, the PIN, original PIN issued by the IRB, now it's valid for 6-month period. Earlier it was valid only for the 45 days. If you unable to change that original PIN to your own one within the period of 45 days, it was expired. But now that the duration has been expanded up to 6-month period, right? The PIN issued by the Inland Revenue will be valid for the 6-month period. Within that 6-month period, what you have to do, you have to change that PIN into your own one, right? So that is why it says the PIN mailer issued by the IRB valid for the 6-month period. At first time use, taxpayer has to change the PIN. At the first time use, taxpayer has to change the PIN to his own one, and further taxpayer can change and secure the PIN as well, right? Even after you change the PIN to your own one, if you wish to change it again and again, you can do it, right? Here, this is the taxpayer registration option. So I have already shown this application right here. Change the password, change the taxpayer detail request, change tax type registration request, right? Email update, right? So those things can be requested via this taxpayer registration option. So another question. Yeah, so you can check whether you have been registered for the tax type or not. So for that purpose, you need to have the TIN and PIN, and you need to log into the system, and then you have to click the tax type registration request, right? So you have to click on this tax type registration request item, and then there will be a pop-up box. In that pop-up box, it shows the tax type that you have been already registered. එතනින් ඔයාලට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් මොනවටද ඔයා register වෙලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. Okay. We'll move to the next slide. මේ තියෙන්නේ අර return schedule management වලින් just showing you how to access to the individual income tax return filing summary page via this taskbar. So there are two options. You can access to the return filing summary page through this taskbar as well as the dashboard icon. I have shown you how to access to the return filing summary page via the dashboard icon earlier. Now here it shows how to access to the particular return filing dashboard via this taskbar. From the taskbar, you have to select the return schedule management. Once you move the cursor to the return schedule management, there will be a drop down like this. From this drop down, you have to select the particular tax type. And here also it shows the type of taxes you have been already registered. In this case, this taxpayer has registered only for the individual income tax. That is why there's no any other taxes here, right? And other thing is this graph just to present you the number of returns files via the e-service during the last year, right? That green line represents the number of return files via this e-platform with compared to the previous 2 years, right? So 2021 and 21-22, those are the number of taxpayers submit return via the e-platform. And suddenly, with the development of the law, this is the amount of taxpayers submit the return via this e-platform during the year of assessment 23-24. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So why you need to do this e-filing? What are the advantages? Easy way to on-time filing. You can submit the return 24 hours and all 7 days. No need to wait until open the office, right? Even at the night, even at the morning, you can submit the return. You no need to visit IRB physically. Even from the overseas, you can submit the return. Okay. So yeah, here, right? And easy administration, and this system make it easier to administrate to a tax file, because even through the system you can appoint an agent on behalf of you to handle your tax matters, right? And the other thing is applicable schedules can be selected, right? If you use the printed matter, if you use the printed format, there's no option to select the particular or the selected schedules. But here I will show you in coming sessions via this e-service you can select the relevant schedules, right? And once fill the primary cages, data will automatically transfer to the relevant cages. If you do have any experience of e-return filing, you know this, right? So in printed case, you have to do the calculation yourself. You have to enter the details for the schedule 1, and then only then after that you have to enter the same data again to the main return as well. That kind of hassle is not with the e-filing. What you have to do is you have to enter the primary data for the relevant schedule, right? Then system itself transfer those details from the schedules to the main return. Auto calculated sums, you don't need to worry about the sums, right? System will do the calculation, and online information guide is available. Schedules can be uploaded with the return, right? And as soon as you submit the return, you can have the confirmation page and the acknowledgement as well, right? so you can make a draft and you can keep that draft until you submit the return. That option is available with this e-development, right? You can start entering the data to the return maybe on the first week of June, and you can have this draft until the last day. That means until the 30th November, right? So that option is available. You can save the draft mode return, right? So those are the advantages of e-filing. Yeah, correct. Yeah, you have to do the registration request and you have to wait until the IRB register. And is there any pending registration? No, generally, I think once you make a request for the tax type registration, generally I already register you for that particular tax type. Maybe some other way for the VAT and kind of thing, but basically for the IIT, on request IRB will register, right? So the way will they inform by using REMIS? So any other method? Most probably not, right? Most probably not. We'll check it, right? Then the tip for the smooth filing and smooth handling of the REMIS, right? And pleasant experience of the REMIS. Tips for the pleasant experience with the REMIS, right? As per the system developer, this system does not support for the mobile phone, especially for the Apple phone and kind of thing. Because there's no mobile version of this system. This system is originally developed for the laptop and desktop. Therefore, it is requested to use laptop or the desktop computer as much as possible, especially for the purpose of return filing, right? You can use the smartphone for other options like some information and some analyze some details, but it's better if you can use the laptop or desktop computer for the purpose of return file. Otherwise there will be some issues, especially we notice that there are some issues with the Apple phones, right? So some Apple phone users, they complain through the Apple phone they cannot see the capture. Once they log into the system, they have to enter the capture. But for the Apple phone users, the system does not show that capture. That because of the incompatibility of the technologies, right? The system is originally developed for the more desktop and laptop. Therefore, this system is incompatible with the modern iPhone and kind of thing, right? And other thing is, other very important thing is get ready and be prepared for the return filing. That means before you start the return filing, you should have some idea about your tax liability. In other way, you should know what are the source of income that's applicable to you. Under each source of income, what would be the assessable income and what are the entitled qualifying payments, and then the tax liability. You should have some idea about the tax liability as well. You cannot just wait by handing over all these things to the system, right? As a taxpayer, you also know certain things before start this process. If it is so, it will be easy, right? and you need to ready for the submission of other relevant document as well. Maybe T10 certificate. You may need to file the T10 certificate with your return. If it is so, you have to get ready for that. You have to scan the T10 certificate and you have to save it somewhere in your computer, and then you can attach that document with the return. So likewise, you have to get ready for the supporting document, not only for the APID or the pay, even for the WHT certificate, WHT schedules, if applicable, rent agreement and kind of thing. You have to get ready with all these details. And the other most important thing is make sure to have strong internet connection. It is very much important. If the internet connection is not strong enough, right, there will be some issues during the time of return filing. Make sure you do have a proper and strong internet connection. And during the return filing, it's better to follow the sequence, right? So especially this is applicable for the standard return filing. Standard return, it contains main return and the relevant 10 schedules. So while you are entering the data for those schedules, make sure to follow the sequence. Otherwise, there will be some issues, right? That means if you try to enter the data first to the schedule 5, then move to the schedule 2, from the 2 you again move to the 8, from the 8 again move to the 4, from the 4 again move to the 10. Rather doing this, it is much better if you can follow the proper sequence: 2 first, 4 then, 5 then, 6 then, 8 then, likewise, right? And other important thing is make sure to get a printout or the save the confirmation page before you submit the return. We'll explain this in details once we come to the individual income tax return e-filing, right? Document can be uploaded to the system even after the return filing. So some people thought they need to submit all the returns with all the schedules with the return, and they take a lot of time to attach the supporting document. It's not like that. You no need to submit all these supporting document with the return. There's an option you to submit the supporting document even after complete the return filing, right? So just think about that as well, right? So we have generally discussed, general discussion was done for the return filing and the RENIS. So thereafter we have to do the return filing via the next session. So we'll see. Isn't there any suggestion for the IRM? What does it mean? Submit the relevant schedules. Submit the relevant schedules. Yes. Suggestion for that. Yeah, you can submit the relevant schedules even after the return filing. So there's an option. There's a location to upload those documents. I will show that as well with the return filing details on next week. So we'll stop the presentation for today from here. The next week we discuss the return filing, how to do this return filing through some pre-prepared videos. I will show you what type of data that you need to enter for the individual income tax return, and how to enter the data, and what you have to do while during the process of return filing. We'll discuss that part on next week, and we introduce the two mode of individual income tax return, simplified version and standard version both. And then we I just discuss, I plan to discuss about the WHT schedules, that means CSV format, and the filing filling the data for the schedules in 7 we'll discuss. And any further questions refers to the area that we cover today. අපි අද basically focus කළේ, if I summarize, අපි basically focus කළේ මේ registration එකේ මොනවද අපිට රැමිස් එක හරහා කරන්න පුළුවන්, ඒ වගේම return filing වලට අපි access කරන්නේ කොතනින්ද, return filing වලදී වැදගත් වෙන්නේ මොනවද, අපි කොහොමද ready වෙන්නේ, මොනවද අපි කලින් prepare කරගන්න ඕනේ කියන කාරණා, ඒ වගේම අපි කතා කළා මේ pleasant experience එකක් ගන්න. මොකද මේ හැමෝගෙම තියෙන experience එක positive feedback එකක් නෙමෙයි තියෙන්නේ රැමිස් කියන, සමහරුන්ට තියෙන්නේ negative feedback එකක්, negative experience එකක්. ඒකට සමහර විට මේ system එකේ තිබ්බ යම් දුර්වලතාත් හේතු වෙන්න ඇති. ඒ වගේම සමහර විට මේ taxpayer නැත්නම් ඒ user system එක ගැන aware වෙලා තියෙන ප්‍රමාණය මධිකම නිසා වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. That is why this kind of sessions are very important, right? So through this kind of session you can be more familiar with this system. So ඒ හරහා අපිට මේ තියෙන මේ bad experience එක හොඳ තැනකට ගේන්න පුළුවන්. අර මම විශේෂයෙන්ම කිව්වා වගේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපේ ඉන්ටර්නෙට් කනෙක්ෂන් එක මොකක් හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තිබ්බොත් ඒ වගේ අවස්ථාවක මේක ස්මූත් ප්‍රොසෙස් එකක් නොවෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපි ඉස්සරහට කතා කරමු what are the issues with this return filing and kind of thing. Even myself today faced that kind of issue. I had some issue with my computer. So when we are dealing with the technology, there may be some unexpected circumstances, but we have to get ready for those things as well. And so let me share my contact details. I'm little busy these days. I do have a lot of telephone calls and kind of things, especially regarding this return filing and kind of thing. But anyway, I'll try my best to reply for the phone calls, but sometimes I may not be able to answer for the phone. So the most effective method to contact me, I think it's WhatsApp, right? So I am available in the WhatsApp. I'm available in the WhatsApp via this number. In case you do have an issue, refers to the premise or the return filing, you may contact me via this WhatsApp number. Just put a little note, you are a member of this group, right? So I do have a lot of WhatsApp messages as well. If you can put that kind of note, I can prioritize those messages. What else you need to know before wind up the today's session? And you can do the suggestions, you can add the feedback as well. If you wish to change the way I present, let me inform, then I can check it again and I can check whether how I can improve the session. Because ultimately what we need to do, we need to develop that means we need to develop all these participants at the end of this course. That is what very important thing. You will be able to deliver better product at the end of this course. So we'll do our best to reach that target. So for that your support is very much important. Your support means your feedback, your suggestions, and you have asked a lot of questions. That's very good. I'm really happy with that. As I told at the beginning, if you ask more, I can deliver more. If you ask nothing, what I do, I just deliver what I have already planned, right? So thank you very much. You are very active group. So we'll hope to continue the session on next week with the same fashion after Mr. Indika complete the individual income tax calculation part. Thank you very much for your active participation. We'll meet again on next week. Thank you. Good night. Yeah, definitely. I will share this PowerPoint presentation with the Crown campus and they will share it with you. Okay, good night.